If you have ADHD, then you already know this feeling. Waiting can be one of the most painful, just agonizing experiences. It's not just about being bored, right? It's this full-body, mind-racing, just awful thing. So today, we're going to break down the biology behind that exact feeling and explore what is actually happening in your brain. Let's dive in.
I mean, this quote probably hits home for so many of you. It just gets right to the heart of a feeling that other people might dismiss as, oh, you're just impatient. But that physical discomfort, that is so real. And it's a core part of the experience we're going to unpack.
So, does this little checklist look familiar? That tension just rising in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest, that frantic urge to just get up and move? These aren't just feelings you're imagining. They're actual physiological responses. Your body is reacting like something is wrong, even if you're just, waiting in line at the grocery store.
And that is the absolute key question here. If you've ever beaten yourself up for not being able to just be patient, this is your moment to let all of that go. Seriously, this is not about willpower. It is not a character flaw. So let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on upstairs.
So the big idea we're going to get into is this. What looks like impatience to the outside world is actually a biological process happening on the inside. It's all about reframing this entire experience, not as a personal failing, but as a neurological reality.
Oh man, this slide right here perfectly captures that split between what people see and what's actually happening. Society sees impatience, maybe a lack of self-control, but the ADHD reality? It's a nervous system that's literally dysregulated. Waiting isn't this passive thing for you, it's an active, deeply uncomfortable state where your brain is desperately searching for stimulation.
And that right there, that's the core of the issue. Most brains can kind of power down and just chill during a wait. The ADHD brain, it does the exact opposite. That sudden drop in stimulation kicks off this frantic, restless search party in your head, and that is where all the discomfort really begins.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics of that search party. We're going to look at the 3 key biological factors that turn a simple everyday wait into such a massive challenge for the ADHD brain.
First up, dopamine. Now, for the ADHD brain, dopamine isn't just about feeling good. It's absolutely crucial for focus and for regulation. So when you're waiting, especially if you don't know for how long, your dopamine levels can just plummet. And that drop, that's what you feel physically is restlessness, is irritation, and that deep, nagging sense of unease.
Next, let's talk about time blindness. You see, the ADHD brain often doesn't experience time as this steady, predictable thing. A 5-minute wait can genuinely feel like an hour. And that distortion, it makes the wait feel totally unstructured, like it could go on forever, which creates this intense internal urgency, even when there's absolutely no rush.
And the third piece of the puzzle is a sensitivity to uncertainty. I mean, think about it. Waiting for a text message, or a test result, or some big decision. That combines low stimulation with really high uncertainty. For a brain that's already sensitive to the unknown, that lack of control is incredibly activating. It keeps your nervous system flipped on, just constantly scanning for an update. So you've got this whole storm happening inside. How does that actually show up on the outside? Well, those behaviors that can look kind of irrational to other people, they're actually desperate attempts by your brain to regulate all of that chaos we just talked about.
I mean, why do we do it, right? Why are we constantly checking our phones, refreshing our email, tapping our foot, pacing around? You might know consciously that nothing has changed in the last 30 seconds, but you do it anyway. The reason is actually pretty fascinating.
And here's the answer. It's not some irrational habit. It's a subconscious solution. Every single time you check your phone or tap your foot, you are giving your understimulated brain a tiny little hit of input. It's your body's way of trying to self-regulate and just for a second, ease that intense discomfort of doing nothing.
Okay, so understanding the why is hugely empowering. But what can we actually do about it? Let's pivot now to a practical toolkit. And this isn't about fighting your brain. It's about supporting your nervous system when it's forced to wait.
And let's be really clear about the goal here. This isn't about trying to magically transform you into a person who loves waiting rooms. No way. It is about making waiting tolerable. The goal is simply to get through it without feeling completely overwhelmed and dysregulated. That's it.
All right, here are 3 concrete strategies you can use. First, add controlled stimulation. This is not mindless scrolling. It's an intentional, low-level activity, like listening to a specific playlist, doodling on a notepad, or organizing your purse. Second, externalize time.
Use a timer on your phone so your brain can actually see that the wait has an end. And third, contain the wait. Instead of it being this endless void, give it a structure. Tell yourself, okay, I'll do this for 20 minutes, then I'll check for that email again.
You know, this mental shift is just as powerful as any physical tool. Moving away from self-blame and towards self-support is a total game changer. Just acknowledging, hey, my brain finds this hard and I need a little support right now, it lowers the shame and actually allows your whole system to calm down.
So, here's the ultimate takeaway from all of this. Your ability to tolerate waiting, it is not a fixed part of your personality. It is a skill. And just like any other skill, like learning an instrument or learning a new language, it can be developed and improved with the right tools and the right mindset. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. What if we've been looking at patience all wrong? What if it's not some magical quality that you either have or you don't, but it's actually something that you can actively build for yourself, one support strategy at a time?